Sure, my nigga. Just making sure. There's been a lot of time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I the whole crew, bro. I'd say I feel like I've been down since launch.
Yeah, man, we've been down since day one, man.
Yeah,
since brownstones, since brownstones, since
man,
packed brownstones.
So like shit, what 8 years? Eight, shit,
yeah, definitely
8 years, bro. It's insane.
Yeah, man, time flies, right?
Yeah. Time is flying.
You know, we're all grown as hell now. You know, I mean, we were grown men, but it's just we're like men now. Like
yeah, right. Seasoned.
Yeah,
seasoned.
Absolutely. Yeah, seasoned sounds better than old.
Yeah, seasoned.
All right. Word. All right, we here though, man.
For sure.
And we are on episode 19 of the Homage Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And we have a very special guest, our brother Kam Mccullough. I hope I say that right.
Yes, you did. You did.
You know,
yes, sir.
AKA the Godfather of DussePalooza. You know, I don't have no clap button, but I'm gonna show you some love.
Yes, sir.
My nigga. You know,
appreciate the real claps.
Yes. No, that's real love. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yo, my brother, how you been, first of all?
Oh man, I've been wonderful, bro. You know, life has been quite the journey. The past, I'd say, year and change, as it's been for everybody. You know, I feel great, bro. Like, you know, coming out of I don't want to say coming out of COVID, because you know we're still in a pandemic, but you know things are starting to feel like some sort of normalcy. But you know, my journey during that time, like, you know, I was doing a lot of work, like a lot of just like deep therapeutic work on myself, and it's allowed me to really come out in a really healthy space, you know. So I feel wonderful, bro. Like everything's thriving. Business is phenomenal. You know, recently engaged. So
salute. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. So, you know, me and my fiance out here in LA, you know, just out here getting to it, man. So I can't complain about much, bro. Like everything's like, my family's healthy, you know, my nephews are healthy. So, you know, everything is good, bro. Everything is good. I know like people say that, but like I really mean it. Like everything like feels wonderful.
That's good, man. We're happy to hear that for sure.
That's a fact.
For sure. Yeah, but how long you been in LA now?
Whew, man, it feels like I just got here. But funny enough, I was talking to my man today. I've been out here 3 years.
Oh man, we were just out there. I wish we would have knew. I would have pulled up on you, man.
Yeah,
we were out there.
Next time we're out here, bro, we gotta get right, man. Grab a proper meal, you know, and do it up.
You know, definitely.
Three joints, bro. It doesn't feel like it. I think like, you know, the COVID warp, like we kind of like just lost a year, and it didn't really feel like, you know, much time. But yeah, as of, I want to say, this month, what are we, May? Yeah, 3 years. 3 years.
Man. I salute to that, bro.
Beautiful. How was that transition for you? Are you saying 3 years, and then basically the last year, you know, of course, a year and a half, we've been shut down. And how was the year and a half before that? Like, you know, so because I know you know, from New York. Well, yeah. Most of your business was in NY.
Yeah, it was a rough transition, and I want to preface it by saying like it was like rough personally. You know, from a business standpoint, we were moving, bro. Like we had just signed a deal with Dusse, so like, you know, we were rocking on that front. The business had kind of like elevated, you know, to another level. But you know, my fiance had gotten pregnant, so I needed to be out here. And you know, like, so we got a place together. Like we were long distance at the time, but we had gotten a place together, and then like, you know, going through all of that, and then I'm not sure if you guys have been like, you know, our baby passed, so then there was like that.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that.
Thank you. So
definitely, we definitely remember that time. I mean, you know, you were very open with your life and how, you know, how things played out. So I guess with you being open about the success and everything that you and your crew were into, I guess that was also a part that you decided to share with everyone too, right? Like you know, the pips, the downside of things, of being, you know, who you are, and people looking towards you. That's and right. You know, you shared that, and we remember that, you know, and definitely sent my blessings then, and I'm going to send them again.
Yeah, I
You
appreciate
know,
it.
sorry to you and your fiance for sure.
Absolutely. And it was one of those things, right? Like even like deciding how to share. Like we were talking about it you know, days, weeks past, and she was like, I encourage you to, grieve however you grieve. And mind you, this is all happening whilst me just moving to LA and like really like, starting to try to get my feet wet out here. So I was just more of the mindset, like, all right, like let me like I've been so, just open to your point and transparent about my journey overall, bro. Like through business, like if you go and look at my social media, like it's like a timeline of my life, and I chose to do that like from early on and like, even like in my professional career to like just moving through business and like the stuff I was doing, and on a personal level. So with that, I was just like, I need to kind of share it for my therapy. But then what I started to find was it was helpful to a lot of people, because you don't know how big that community is until you're a part of it, And then like we started to hear from a bunch of folks who had lost children, stillborn, miscarriages, and so on and so forth, or kids, shortly after they were birthed. So it was like a weird time for me because like I had like this thing that on the outside looking in, like people see, this thing blowing up. We're doing huge venues. We're doing all over the country. We're going international.
Oh yeah, I blew up for sure.
We're getting cosigns left and right from, Hove, Lenny S, all these cats. And that's happening. But on the personal side, like, I'm like, my life is like upside down. Like my world's like upside down. So, I look at that phase, like that time frame, like when I first got to LA and was like living here, as like a real, like just crazy transitional like period, what I'm saying, in my life. And it was something that, I'll never forget. Like it's something that I feel like it's like a bookmark almost in like my life's journey. So, I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful to still be here and, to be, in the position that I'm in now and to learned a lot in that time. So it's like, I don't look at it as like a bad time now, but while I was in it, it was rough, bro.
Not for real. I can imagine, man.
Well, I'm glad.
But we happy that you got through it and you pushed through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, we know each other like personally, right? But just to frame like what this is, me and John Doe, during the pandemic, we had all these different projects we were trying to do and just trying to get things off the ground. And so many things were just difficult to move forward with. So we found, sort of a safe place and something that we could control. And we wanted to just talk with people that, we wanted to have their story and their journey, expressed and highlighted because we truly respect them. You know what I mean? So we just thought about all the closest people that we know and really have, good stories and really contribute something to the world. Like, you know what I mean? That really actually helped, and still fun.
Yeah.
So that's how we came up with the Homage podcast. And that's why we knew that we had to have you on because I fuck with you for real. And I'm like, yo, Kam is a really, really good person.
Yeah.
Forget all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a good guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I'm happy to see good people win. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much fuck shit. There's so much people that don't deserve to have the space and the success that they have. That it's really cool when somebody that actually does it and then somebody that's put on a team and did the whole thing. So like, just for the sake of a listener that might not know everything that's going on, right? When I met you, this was 8 years ago. We met through, Jamal.
Yeah, I think it was Jamal we met.
Yeah,
Jamal
Yep.
Introduced me to you, and you had just, maybe you were on the third Hennypalooza party or something like that. Maybe about to be like something like that.
Yeah. I want to say right after the second one, going into the third one, because this was like early 2013.
Yeah, because I think because we went to the third one. I think that's the first. That's where I met you at the third one.
So for the people that don't know, right? Give us a little a background about your journey.
Absolutely. So
it's inspiring.
So we started this thing, this very intimate, like just literally some friends and family kickback style like party, and it started in my apartment back in El Barrio, back in East Harlem, and it was it was really just like, yo, come to the house. You know, we're gonna play games. We're gonna drink. You know, play spades, listen to some music. Like that was like technically the first one. We don't call it the first one, but that was like right around like Thanksgiving time of 2012. And then it was so dope. Like, you know, we had like the right amount of like liquor, women, food. So it was like, yo, I want to do that again, bro. And you know, and we were, and like, you know, just to be frank, bro, we were broke. So I was like, you know, like I didn't have the downtown money, you know what I'm saying, to go and like really live it up.
Hold on, just so the people that's listening or watching, who are the friends you talking about?
So
Because they're gonna know these people. They know these people now, right?
Gotcha.
These was just your friends at the time.
Yeah. So at this time, we're talking about like Jamal. We're talking about at that time, low key, talking about Kaz, Kazim from Day, from like SNY, Madison Square Garden TV now. But back then, you know, Kaz was just like bloggers, and then like me, I was working. I was working for Condé Nast. I was working in digital advertising. So like, you know, I was probably making like 45, 50 grand a year. So like, you know, living check to check, you know, hustling though, but like living the city dream. So like for us, like we had to find our fun in different ways, bro. Like you remember that era, like cats were finding like a turn up.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And it's like, yo, like I don't really got it, but like, yo, I heard this bar has like the crazy happy hour, or like, you know, like this brunch spot is going up, and you know, and they're selling champagne flutes for like $30. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we found our fun and we made it a thing, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what Palooza was, you know, and it wasn't meant to be. Honestly, it wasn't never meant to be any bigger than what it was at that time. You know what I mean? And like what we were able to do was like really capture the energy of a time frame, you know what I'm saying? Capture the energy of a city. And like, you know, we were, most of us were from New York, but, and like I was saying, the one we were inviting people to was at my house, but we had started to like spread the word a little bit. So it was, and it had gotten like outside of that immediate circle of people. So I was like, you know, I still want to do it, but like, I don't want to have all them people in my apartment.
Word.
So we, so I spoke to my landlord, and I lived in a family-owned building, you know, on 115th in Pleasant. So he was like, yo, use the community room where we throw like baby showers and like, you know what I'm saying, like birthday parties for the older folks. I was like, yeah, bet. So like a 2-floor little family community room situation. And I sent the text out. This was when iPhone notes was still like the yellow notepad. And I was like, yo, like, you know, bring BYOB, but make sure it's yak. You know what I'm saying? We got chicken, and my boy actually hit me at the time, Genius and HD, and he's a DJ, and he was like, yo, bro, I'm gonna bring my speakers and we're gonna turn it up. I said, oh, okay, so like this is gonna be a thing, but still like, you know, a thing amongst like 50, 60 people, bro. So that joint happens. And I want to paint the picture a little even like a little deeper, even further. Like you understand, like this is like 2012. So like we're just now really phasing out of Facebook into like Twitter,
Instagram,
Twitter, not even Instagram,
Twitter.
Not even Instagram. Yeah. Twitter is just becoming a thing.
Like, Twitter is becoming like the main thing, right? So like I'm on Twitter, you know what I'm saying, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day. You know, so like that's where the conversation was happening. And we was bullshitting, bro. Like you know, Twitter back then, you don't think nobody reading what you're saying, like nobody paying attention. So you just tweeting bullshit. You're like, yo, Hennypalooza, my crib, blah, blah, right? And like a couple people was hitting us up, like, yo, where's that joint at? Blah, blah. And like we actually invited some of those people that we just knew from Twitter.
Randoms, like social media people.
Which I would never do today.
Word.
But, you know what I'm saying? We was just so like, you know, whatever, bro, like it's a thing. We got it, you know. And I had homies there, and I had like security just so, you know, it wouldn't be no bullshit. But it was still just like chill, house party. And so we do it. And I remember like it's just a crazy house party at this point. Like we just like we were playing games, we were like doing like Jenga, all that, like Twister, and then boys like, yo, bro, move all that shit out the way, cut the lights off, and let's turn up. And the rest, as they say, is history. So like we get through that night. It's a crazy night, and you know, I wake up the next day and Fox, my man Chris Fox, Fox Files, he's on one of my couches. And Low Key is actually on the other couch. And they're knocked. So like I wake up, bro, probably like 11 a.m. So Sunday, I believe, Saturday or Sunday. I wake up like 11 a.m. and Fox is just like, he wakes up like, yo, got something, bro. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it was just a house party. Like, and I had thrown parties pretty much my whole life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like high school, college, after college, in the city, you know, so like it wasn't a thing that I saw myself doing. It definitely wasn't a career for me,
Yeah.
you know, but I was just
Fox saw the bigger picture.
Yeah, and he was just like, "Yo, this is you." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Bro, what makes you even say that?" Right? So he goes on Twitter and he's showing me. He's like, "Yo, bro, check the hashtag." I was like, "What the fuck you mean check the hashtag?" Mind you, this is 2012. So he's like, "Yo, check the hashtag." I'm like, I'm looking, and it's wild, like, you know, just rappers, like what we would now call Instagram models, like all that. And it's like, "Yo, what is this Hennypalooza shit? Why didn't I hear about it? I got to be at the next one." I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, yo, this was just a party at the crib. So so you know what's so funny about it? Like, we were just making jokes that actually turned into like marketing campaigns. So we were just like, people were like, "Yo, can I get invited?" I was like, "Yo, bro, it's not like that type of party. It's just an intimate gathering, right?" So then like we use intimate gathering as like a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's just me and my friends. Like just don't. So like all of that stuff was developed very early. And you know, I think it's really, Palooza is really one of the great studies in just like grassroots and guerrilla marketing, and you know, like really just like leaning into the people, you know, because it was the time that you know, we never went against the people and what the people said. So it started from that very first one in December of 2012, you know, and ran through, you know, Barclays Center, you know, end of
that was wild, man. I remember the first time I saw you, when one of your boys coming down with the super soaker fill, you know, he had the backpack filled with Henny. Me and Justin, I walked in there and he handed us a bottle and was like, "Yo, here."
Yeah.
And then he started shooting, and he started shooting. I was like, "Nah, hold up."
Yeah.
So this is different.
Let me paint the picture for people, right? So all right, so you know, me and Cam, you know what I'm saying, we building a rapport. I'm coming to check him. We sitting out how you're building, we talking. I never been to the party, so I don't know how real intense it is or whatever. We got, you know, since 1982 is becoming a brand. I made a custom shirt for Cam. A custom shirt. He rocked it at the I guess the third Palooza, Palooza, which was in a brownstone in Harlem. Now when me and Doe pull up, now, because we older than you, you know what I'm saying? So we old heads. So like we come from house parties. We pull up.
And mind you, never been to a party on over there. You know, like that. That was we were between like Amsterdam and Convent or something like that and like the one somethings. And I'm like, I'm like, yo, just man, this ain't a party hood. Like this is a trap. This is a trap block.
This
is a trap around here. Like this ain't a party spot.
So now you said the first one was December, right?
Yes.
So this is the summer now.
That was June.
This was June. Yeah, this is like now, you know? So we pull up, it's hot. It's a lot of motherfuckers outside. I said, oh, okay. Like, but when I, you know, like the way me and Doe from the hood, so like we see a lot of people, we like, oh, this is gonna be some fucked up shit. But it's a lot of women. You know, I'm like, okay, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't feel like that energy. I feel like, all right, this is fun energy. We walk inside, like how Doe said, and it was like the East Coast version of like the gin and juice video. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just packed to the motherfucking core of people everywhere. People sweating their motherfucking brains out. There's alcohol everywhere. The music is blasting. There's people up and down the stairs. And it's not even late. You're talking like 5:30 or something like that.
Like 5 p.m., bro.
Yeah, it's like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm like, oh, this shit is lit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
We make our way to the back. I see Cam. He's like, oh, what up? I said, nah, this is different. I said, this is different. I said, and the entry was a bottle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no money. It wasn't like you on a list. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, granted, you came in like said, yo, let him in, whatever, because it was just so many other people, random people that was just trying to hear about it and go in. So now we in there, me and Doe turn up. We doing what we do, drinking, smoking. Every, you know, if you ever been in a brownstone, you don't know, because it's like
I felt like it was levels to it too. Like the first floor was sort of like if you want to mingle and like talk and have a conversation, you probably go to the first floor. Second floor was like slight turn up. I went to the third floor. Energy was different up there.
Yeah. It was just fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no negative energy in the room. There's all people from every different walk of life in there. You know, so there was no see, I come from the era of going to clubs and lounges before you could pay bottles to get in, where you had to just be able to get in.
Yeah.
This felt like that energy. Like, yo, if you here, you here. And we are all on the same level. You know what I'm saying? We all just hanging.
Yeah.
The backyard was goofy. Goofy.
It was crazy.
I said, I don't know what this is gonna be, but it's something.
Yeah, I remember us leaving that night like, yo, I don't know. This is crazy.
I said, this is lit.
This is crazy.
I said,
it was really one of those like when you think back on it, as you guys are talking about it, I'm sitting here just getting like emotional because it's like it's so like nostalgic to because even now, bro, like that's something we started 8 years ago, and you know, like nothing feels like that right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I knew it then, but I didn't really know because I was in it, you know. And I'm just like, yo, this is fire, but like, yo, how can we make it better? And like even that one in particular, that one was like one of those where we were like, all right, this could kind of go one or two ways because it was popping and like it was crazy, but it was a little too crazy. And we're like,
when we were outside, I was like, oh, this feel more like what me and Doe know now. Because it was like street. There was a lot of street people outside, you know what I'm saying? People that couldn't get in was feeling some type of way, you know what I mean? I said, oh, okay.
It got a little staticky at the end.
Listen, when you got a lot of yak and a lot of hot weather, you know what I mean? It should just go how it's supposed to go, you know? But I said, my guy knows how to put a fucking event together. That was like the thing that clicked immediately. I said, well, whatever they doing is working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and we were just feeling it out, bro. Like I had a lot of experience, but like I hadn't done it like that before, right? Where we were even the way we started, like thinking about how we promoted the party, right? I was like, all right, yo, it's like we not dropping, because back then we didn't used to tell people where it was at until
that was another thing. Yeah.
So it was like that people weren't really doing that. That was like some secret disco shit that I got from like my pops. You know, where it's like, yo, like we didn't know where the disco was until, you know what I'm saying, 2 hours before the party. I'm like, oh, that's kind of fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me try some shit like that for mine. And, you know, down to like the flyers. We didn't have flyers, bro, until like the 1 year or something, like maybe even after that. Because we would take images from the party and make them the flyer. So people were in there trying to be like the most turned up to become the next flyer. Like there's like the old school image of my homegirls. Like I won't shout out the names. Like they're in there with the chicken in the mouth, holding the Henny bottle. I'm like, yo, this is the perfect flyer for the next one. And then like we put it out, drop, and bro, and we would sell out because even then we weren't selling tickets yet, but like we would just do like RSVPs, like, yo, grab your RSVP off Eventbrite, but that's how we got everybody's email. And bro, we would get like 500 RSVPs in like 7 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm hitting cats like, yo, the link is live, go right now. Because then from there we would take the guest list, and that was kind of how we managed the door to go. But like, man, just thinking back about that era, bro, and that time, and just like something you mentioned that's so special. It's just like people from all different walks of life were in there, right? Like it was like you had your corporate cats, you had industry cats, you had foods, you know what I'm saying? You had like just like creatives, like cats were just hustling, trying to make it like, and it was like kind of like a coming of age of like New York City for like that new era of cats, you know, because like we were all like, you guys are a little older than me, but we're still kind of in that same
same
you know?
era.
So, but it was just like, you know, cats weren't like, we were tired of like kind of doing all the other shit and like the old shit, and like that just felt like something that we as like a generation could have, you know what I'm saying? And I'll always be thankful specifically for that time, bro.
It was really the like old school in real life,
Mhm.
like the movie Old School, like, you know what I'm saying? Like how that party just turned
Right.
up and like got out of hand because y'all had late, you know, fast forward, y'all got performers and all that shit just like in the movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also feel like a lot of, of course, a lot of people saw what you guys were doing, and then you also seen a lot of other like, outdoor events like that pop up. I remember a lot of Adidas events, to name a few, just a general. A lot of people, I feel like a
Oh,
lot
it
of people
became so many. That
saw
became a
what you
thing.
guys were doing, and with since it was easier for them to pull it off. Of course, they just started. All right, instead of renting a spot, let's rent an open space, and give out free alcohol or whatever. You know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I wouldn't. And I don't think this is like me overstating it, dog. Like we changed the way that New York party, and subsequently we changed the way that America party, bro.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. There's nothing wrong with you saying that, man. Like everything that we see that's popular now comes, started from something that we saw cool outside. Let's be very clear about it.
That's
From
a
the
fact.
way there's nothing going on in popular culture right now that we didn't see first,
I'll give you for instance how cool culture changes, like, the mainstream, right? Just one thing. When they release anything now, they say drop. They don't say release anymore because we say drop. That's just how, but that's mainstream. So like if Nike releases sneakers, they drop sneakers now.
Yeah.
Like that's how we used to say.
That until
Correct. So what y'all was doing, they was paying attention to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, y'all opened up another market, another lane,
and then
another lane right there.
Well, I just so we could take the journey even like more in depth, right? Like, so the next, I didn't go to a lot, right? Just
it's too wild. It's too wild.
No, I mean, it's just like I never wanted to lean on situations. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think me and Doe, I brought Doe with me to the one at, what was it called? The Well or something like that, right? Spot downtown.
Yep. Wait, I think you might be talking about, it was still indoors, right?
It was an indoor joint and it had like another level.
Tammany Hall.
Yeah. So I was like, yo, this is how like my eye opened. I said, oh shit, they could do whatever they want now. Because it was, I said, oh, they could do it any way they want now. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't some fly, but this wasn't a once in a, it wasn't like, the stars aligned and shit just worked out. I said they could do whatever they want now, and then your team is branching out and they're doing their thing and they, they building their notoriety and all your people's, you know what I mean? It was a beautiful thing to see, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was great, bro. And even like, I go back to just how special the time was, and like you saying, like we felt like we could do whatever we want at that point. That was a real like defining moment for us. Like it wasn't like jumping from there to like the Well, going from 500 people, 600 people to 1,800 people. That was huge, but that wasn't a defining moment for us because we had already had the formula. Like we had figured it out by going from kind of like these brownstones and these like event spaces into an actual like venue.
Yeah, that's what you're right.
Jumped from those into a venue, and I was just like, yeah, let's do it. And like Tammany Hall, luckily for us, right place, right time. Tammany Hall was in a bad way, and they needed bread. So we were like, yo, they're like, yeah, give us $6.
Help us help you.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, bet. So when they were like, they're going to charge us a rental fee, I told Cats, I was like, yo, we have to charge people. And like, we got to figure out the right way to charge people too. So we were like, let's figure that piece out because, Cats were used to bringing their own bottle. And like, once you go to a licensed venue, you can't do that. So we were just like, all right, how do we do this then? So we got to buy the product. And that's where we started to figure out our formula of really how to operationalize the party. So we were like, all right, we have to buy the product. I have no idea. Before then, I had no idea how much a case of Hennessy cost or even how many bottles came in a case of Hennessy. I just knew, what a liter costs. You know what I'm saying? Liter, $50. You know what I'm saying? $50, $56, whatever. So then we got into like that negotiation and they're telling us how much a case costs. It's 12 bottles in a case. So then I started getting on my accounting and my math shit. I'm like, okay, so we need X amount of bottles, to make sure that these people get enough drinks, right? So we figure out whatever this crazy formula is. And I'm like, all right, how much are we gonna charge people? I'm like, yo, we can't charge people more than the cost of a bottle of Hennessy. Because like that's like the baseline. So like, yo, let's
so it's safe to say you created like a Henny algorithm.
yeah, essentially, bro. Like it was some real like nerdy
algorithm.
shit, bro. It was also like, yo, we got 500 people coming. We want them all to have 5 drinks a piece. You know what I'm saying? The drinks is 2-ounce pours. So then like, what's 2 ounces times 2,500, and then like divided into the liters, and that's how many bottles we get. Like, bro, that's what it was. Yeah. And we were just
statistics.
We ran that shit for years, and you know, and it worked. You know what I'm saying? So like, but that jump to Tammany Hall, like to a licensed venue, that legitimized us. Like, and it legitimized us to venues and to spaces in New York. Like, because before, like, yo, what is this wild shit? Like, we don't even know. But then once people saw us do it there, saw what it did, and then saw the type of money that Tammany Hall was able to make with us, they were like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, we'll entertain you guys. And then, you know, we made that jump from Tammany Hall to the Wicked Well in Brooklyn. And bro, from there, took off.
Whole different space now, whole different situation, right?
Yeah.
Is that when was the first time y'all had an actual artist perform?
Tammany Hall.
Tammany Hall.
Oddly enough, right? So this was the second joint we did in Tammany Hall. I want to say it was like Memorial Weekend, or it might have been, yeah, it was Memorial Weekend, and it was a pop-up joint. But we threw tickets on sale 3 days before the party. Tickets sold out in 2 hours. So, but it's Memorial Weekend in New York. Everybody's trying to get in. Everybody's trying to be there. The door is disgusting. So we get through the night. It was a pretty crazy like night from an operational standpoint, but we got through it. And, you know what I'm saying? And we figured it out. And all of a sudden, bro, it's like end of the night. I'm at the bars, like probably having my first drink, maybe like my second drink of the night, and I'm exhausted, bro. And I hear them playing Mac Wild's, I think he put out a New York Love Story. I think that was the name of the album. And he had a song called Hennessy. So I hear the song and I'm just like, yo, I bang with the record, but I'm like, why are they playing this at like peak hours? So like, I turn around and he's performing. And I'm like, yo,
nice.
What the hell? So I'm just like, bro, I had no idea what's happening, but you know, he was cool with one of our hosts at the time. I want to say it was Lowe's, and like he had told him like to pull up, and he came through, and bro, he tore that shit down.
That's
and,
nice.
He did Hennessy, he did Own It, and Mac Wilds was the first cat to rock with us, and like that I will never forget, you know, because like we've obviously now we've had, you know, dozens of artists, you know, to hit the stage, but like you always remember that first one. And you know what I'm saying, like obviously we ain't have no bread to pay for an artist, so he came in there for the love, you know, energy, and like that means so much to me, you know, just especially in that time, that like yeah, I'll forever have love for Mac for that. Like he was our first performance. That was 2014.
And you got to figure too, right? Like on Mac Wild's behalf, I'm just assuming, right? Like he's trying to break from Mike from the Wire, right? Mm-hmm. He's trying to show the world that he has this artist level. So if he could perform at something that's this organic, he could do it anywhere. And you know what I'm saying? Like just it's, you know, just vibing, like that's what artists do, you know?
Yeah. And it was like a perfect pairing, you know what I'm saying, for that time. And it felt right. The energy in there when he was performing was wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that like people talked about it after, I was just like, yeah, like we're out of here.
Just so the people understand, like there was random ass people at these things. The one at Tammany Hall, I'm standing there, I'm talking to this dude, and I'm like, this fool look mad familiar. And
super
somebody
random.
walked back. It was Asher Roth.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what is this? I was like, this dude, like, not that I have a problem with him like that, but he was kicking it. But like, I was just like, yo, how did he end up here? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I forgot he was there.
Yo, like it was just mad,
like that, bro. Like it would just be the most random cats. Like cats not even from New York. Like cats just be like, no, town. Like yo, nah. Bro, we would have like random NFL players, like what's homie from the Giants, OCU Minura.
Yeah,
just like yo, I'm outside. I'm like, huh? Like, yo, what is like?
Yeah, New York is like that, bro. Like you never know who you end up around. I think I who's the most random person I ever been around?
See,
You know who your man Paul from David Letterman's show. Remember Justin, we were hanging out one time. He's wag cool. I didn't even know he was that cool,
nah,
man.
He know a lot of the people that we know like from the hood.
From the hood.
From the
Paul,
hood.
You know who we talking about, right? Paul from David Letterman with the glasses. Yo, he's thorough too, man. He's smoking, smoking around him and all that.
The cool thing about like people being there, right? Because we've been to like places where people pop up, but it's like industry. You know, even they try to act like it's not like, you know, but it's a place to be because other people are gonna. This was like,
that wasn't that.
This wasn't that. This was just people just vibing. You know what I'm saying?
That was a part of our brand too, bro. Like we treated everybody the same. So it was like, yo, that was a big thing for us for a very long time. I kind of wish we would have kept towards the end, which was like no VIP. Like, yo, you're like, yeah, we'll let you in, bro. Like, we'll take care of you, but like, you're gonna be with people. Like, you know what I'm saying, on the dance floor. Like, no, there's no sections here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no backstage, bro. Like, if you in here, like, if you want to be in here, like, understand, like, the people are gonna be able to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people are gonna be able to have a conversation with you, and you'd be surprised how many of them cats actually love that shit. And they were like, yo, I ain't never been in nothing like this before. You know what I'm saying? And we all of a sudden we start touring. We got cats popping up on us in different cities. Like, yo, this is crazy. I'm in LA too, bro. Like, yo, and I'm like, yo, this is weird, but not like, it was always that good energy, bro. And you touched on it from the first joint, like, because you know you would assume free Hennessy, you know what I'm saying, like open bar, hip hop, you would assume is going to go a certain way. And, you know, I'm really proud to say it never really went that way. It always stayed in like the good energy space. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, like we had, you know, incidents when we had incidents, but it was never anything crazy. It was never like a fight that shut down the party. It was like, you know, it might be some girls scuffling by the bathroom, but, you know, we secure that and clean that up. It was never anything crazy. And like, everybody appreciated it, from like the highest entertainers and athletes to just like, you know what I'm saying, the regular corporate 9-to-5 cats who just came to have a good time. We had everybody in there feeling it like the same way, and that was a special.
And you know, let me ask you, what led to the obvious change from Henny to DussePalooza? Because I'm sure that's something that people.
Hold on, before you answer, like the only question I would have for you every time we were speaking, like, is Hennessy fucking with you? You'd be like, nah, and I'm like,
yeah,
huh? Giving these motherfuckers free press all day long.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
It's a lesson, and this is a lesson I feel like everybody can learn now, especially with like where social media is, like how people, you know what I'm saying, like it don't matter who you are, like you're trying to build a brand, right, of some sort. I gotta preface it by saying we weren't trying to build a brand. You know what I mean? Like we were just trying to like have a good time. And my mind just wasn't working like that at that time. It was like, all right, we got this thing that's dope, that people love, making a little bit of change off of it. So, you know, like it's still like, it makes sense to still do it. And, you know, and as it got bigger and bigger, and I started having more conversations, I was just like, yeah, why isn't Hennessy like banging with us? But like they would come, like reps from the brand would come, and like they're friends of mine, like to this day, like they're friends of mine. And we would have the convo, and they're like, yo, like, yeah, we love this, but like Hennessy, like we can't bang with this. And I'm just like,
would they even give y'all free Hennessy?
No.
It's a goddamn
shame. And that was like, so like even me, and just like understanding, which is crazy now that like people consider me to be like this like master or wizard of like brand partnerships. That was my trial by fire, bro. I learned how to do it, you know, by like not being able to do it with them. You know, so like we're making decks, like we're trying to pitch. And you know, for all of those years, bro, we did Hennypalooza for 5 years. We couldn't even get a meeting with Hennessy. Like, forget, like, you couldn't get a check. We couldn't get a meeting. And I have thoughts in my head about like why that was. You know, I think you know, it didn't come from like out of their like creation wheelhouse. So, you know, that's the thing. Like it was already kind of perceived as one thing. Like always, I would always hear ratchet.
I mean, yeah, you know, let's come on, let's be real. They don't want to be connected to something that They didn't create on their own.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you have young black people at that enjoying themselves. They're looking at that shit like a liability or something that probably threatens the brand.
They was stupid.
If it doesn't work the way that they you know want.
They fumbled the bag in all reality.
They did. And
they definitely did.
What's so crazy about it, bro, is that it's like throughout like the liquor business, like it's identified as just that, one of the biggest blunders that a liquor company could have made, because it was right there. And it was right there in so many ways, right? Like we were already like this machine that was moving, and we had no idea what we would do. Like they could have came in and offered
cleaned it up.
Short
direction. Yeah, they could have gave you direction.
We probably would have been like, yeah, whatever, bro. Give us $100,000 for the year. You know what I'm saying? We would have just doing it.
Because at that point, you're looking at it like, all right, cool. Now we getting paid to do what we like.
Yeah, and we don't know what the value of it really is. Like we don't know any of that. But as we were going along, we started to learn those things. And then as I'm sitting in now in like year 4, year 5, and we're still rocking, bro. We're still selling out. We're just coming off of doing 7,000 people in Coney Island, you know, and I'm just like, it's like, this is just a lot. Like, this is a lot. And you know, we need some real like partnership, bro. Like we need some real support. And so, you know, Lenny S is a good friend. And, you know, I just holler at him. I say, yo, bro, look, we got this thing that he had been to a dozen times, but I'm just like, yo, bro, like we want to like, you know, see what that's about. Like, you know what I'm saying? We know that Duce is obviously Black owned. Like we want to just see, you know, what the possibilities are. I think like what we have currently and the position that you guys are in, I think like it's a match. And like, I know that we can pull the people from, you know, in the cognac war. I was like, I know we have that capability, at least in New York. So even if we just have it in New York, like that's worth marketing money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, let me know. So we had a meeting with them while we were still Hennypalooza. We had a meeting with them, I want to say like 2016, maybe 2016. And you know what I'm saying, we get in the meeting and you know what I'm saying, I'm just, but this is my first time in a meeting about this. So I'm like, like what do we want? Katz is in there like on the Rolex site shopping for watches. Like he was like, yo, I'm gonna buy this whip. And then I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if it was like tuition or whatever. I say, yo, bro, I don't think this is gonna go like that. Like right before we went upstairs, I say, I don't think this is gonna go like that. And like we get in the room, it's you know what I'm saying, it's a couple of us, there's Lenny, and there's the head of Duce at the time. And he comes in with like this notepad and like does like the big boy shit to us. Like, yo, like what's the number? I'm like, huh? Yo, like we want to get this done. What's the number? I said, what number?
So you didn't even have to sell them on it, nothing.
No, we hadn't said anything, but that approach just threw me off because I'm like, wait. So then like somebody on our side was about to say a number. I said, yo, we gotta like crunch this up and give y'all a proper proposal. I was like, yo, like we gotta account for like mad stuff. Whether we gotta account for production, staffing, you know what I'm saying, marketing dollars, product, all that. So we was like, yo, give us like, you know what I'm saying, a day or so to like crank up a proposal for you. So we do that. We crank up the proposal. You know what I'm saying? We make this beautiful deck and we shoot it over to them via email. And we don't hear nothing for about 3 days. I'm like, like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody seemed to be pretty gung-ho at the time, but you know, that was like radio silence. And I'm just like,
yes, sir.
All right. So then, you know, Lenny hits me. He's like, yo, bro, he's like, we're far apart. Excuse me. He's like, we're far apart on numbers. I said, okay, like, look, how far? You know what I'm saying? I was like, hey, he just laughed and like, I was like, okay. So like, let me know then what we even have to work with, and then we can explore some other options. So just to give you a frame of reference of like where we were as far as numbers, we were in Yonkers. They were in like Canarsie.
Damn.
So like it was just, but
Wow.
they didn't really quite like, they knew we were popping, like they knew we had a thing, but they didn't really like understand our value.
They didn't know. They didn't know what time it was.
No, they didn't like, they knew we were cool, but they didn't think like we were like that influential and that we were that powerful at that time in New York. So I was just like, yo, you know, no love lost. Like we gonna continue to rock. And you know what I'm saying? If it makes sense to revisit the conversation, we will. So fast forward to the end of 2017. And I mean, at this point, we're the biggest party running now outside of those corporate, you know, do-overs, like that stuff. Like we're the biggest like independently run party running in the country.
It's still
like,
Hennypalooza at the time.
Still Hennypalooza. It's still Hennypalooza. We're starting to like do other types of branded events, but like with different names. So we're exploring like what that's like. And bro, I'm just exhausted. And I'm like, yo, bro, I can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? And I was like, yo, let me holler at Lenny again. So I changed my approach. I was like, this time, like, I'm gonna approach this very differently. Because the first time we definitely like approached him on somebody, yo, sponsor us. Where like this time around, I was like, yo, bro, I want to enter into a partnership with y'all. And he was like, okay, what does that look like? And I'm like, yo, let's go to lunch. So Lenny and I go to lunch, we chop it up, and I leave lunch, I go back uptown, and he calls me that night. I'm in Made in Mexico, the one I did, just built on 2nd Avenue. Made in Mexico, drinking a margarita. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me, but I'm in there drinking a margarita, and he calls me. He's like, yo, you won't believe what just happened. And like, if anybody like knows Lenny, like he's the gas master, but like when he's like serious about some shit, like, you know. So I'm like, yo, what happened, bro? He's like, yo, I was just talking to Jay. And he was like, yo, why are we not doing business with them Hennypalooza niggas? And I'm like, Lenny, you're lying. Like, I don't even believe you. Like, that doesn't, I'm saying like, I knew him at the time. I'm like, yo, like, that don't even sound like nothing Jay would say. And he's like, bro, I'm telling you, he said it. He said, he's like, I told him me and you just met. He's like, yo, whatever y'all need to do to get them in the building, get them in the building. I said, all right. So I was like, yo, set up the formal meeting. We meet again. Literally, exact same setup. Like us, Lenny, the head of Duce at the time, and somebody else from the rock side is in the meeting. And I, yo, he came in joking. He's like, yo, what's the number? So I'm like, yo, bro, this is what we're thinking. Boom, 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 boom. You know, tell us what's aligned on y'all end from budget side. Let's figure it out. So they came back. The numbers made sense. Like it was about a 10, 14 day negotiation period. But you know, the numbers made sense. Boom. It was like, all right. So that was right before the last Hennypalooza of 2017, which was at Terminal 5. So then I was like, all right, how do we do this? Like, cause now we got this thing, like, it's like, I feel like I'm holding on to like some gold. Like, how do we do this? How do we transition? Right. So I'm like, yo, all right, we got to go out with a bang. So we start promoting the last one of the year, and we say, yo, last Hennypalooza ever. Like, that was a hashtag, like last Hennypalooza ever. And it so happened, this is God, it so happened, it was our 50th show. So it lined up perfectly. Like, yo, so we ran that narrative to the ground. Like, yo, last Hennypalooza ever. Get your tickets. There'll never be another Hennypalooza. We're not joking. So like, people are like, what? So like, everybody like that said it like stopped coming for the last like year and a half. Like, yo, I'm in there. So you know, we pack out Terminal 5. It's an emotional night because people are like really like, yo, are y'all serious? We're like, yeah, we're dead serious. Like, there's no more. And like me trying to keep, you know, however many people on our team at the time, 14, like try to keep 14 people's mouth shut. Like, yo, don't hint at anything. I didn't even tell half of them because I'm like, yo, I can't trust y'all. Like, y'all are going to leak this out and it's going to be like, you're going to ruin it. So that happens December of 2017. And we just go in the lab because we're like, all right, we gotta make this announcement. right? So we're like, how do we do that? So, we got to speak. We have to be honest with the people, because the people, like, you know what I'm saying, people like Justin, like, yo, like, why is Hennessy not banging with y'all? I was like, yo, we have to be honest about our journey and where we're going, and people are gonna eat it up. So we made like this promo video just talking about like, yo, you gotta bang with who bangs with you. Like, we're gonna go somewhere where we actually feel like we're appreciated. We're gonna go somewhere, I'm saying, black owned, like, you know what I'm saying, we're black owned, like that we can build with, like, do this whole crazy video. And we drop it on January of 2018. And the internet blew up. Like, blew up. So that was one of the most exciting, gratifying, and also nerve-wracking days of my life, bro. Because we announce it, everything is going crazy. My phone is going crazy. Congratulations, yo, blah, blah, blah. And then the other phone calls start coming, like, yo, y'all wilded out. Like, why'd y'all put them on blast like that? Yo, they might try to sue and all that craziness. And I'm just like, yo, we didn't like slander nobody. We said the truth, and we
just kept it real.
Yeah, and we didn't say nobody's name. Like, but everybody obviously knew who we were talking about because of people knew us. So, but like, it wasn't like one of those things that we went on like, yo, F them, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were like, yo, like, it is.
I mean, it is what it is. They had their chance, and then, you know.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
I mean to pause the story, but like,
you good?
At any time, did Hennessy ever ask you not to use their name?
Yeah. So one of the few times we actually were able to speak to them, we were just told we can't use Hennessy, the word Hennessy on the flyer.
Yeah.
Henny was never trademarked by LVMH or Hennessy. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, Henny, Slang. So
we call it shit Henny anyway.
Like, okay, like, bro, to your point earlier, like, bro, that's what we call it. So we're like, yo, so on the joint we would say like, instead of open bar Hennessy, we would have put open bar Henny cocktails, and that cleared us of them legally. So we were like, okay, cool, like, whatever. And then like, and it was so funny that during me thinking back to that time, because bro, they would be there having a blast, like, and yo, bro, we gonna figure out a way. And I was like, yeah, whatever, man, like, just come in and have a good time like everybody else, bro. But not. It's funny, after that video came out and all that announcement, all of a sudden they knew how to get in contact with us.
What were those conversations like, and what was the point after the fact too? Like, what's the point?
It was somebody. It was like realizing that, like, it's like you're dating and you realize,
oh yeah, you messed up.
Break up. That like, yo, I had the girl the whole time, and like all I had to do was just like, you know what I'm saying,
pay attention.
And pay attention. And so we go on to bust that move. You know what I'm saying? Like, we handle all of that logistical, like, legal stuff, like all of that was fine. And cats are, but now they're so used to being praised by our community, but now they're catching heat. Like, yo, like, how y'all don't bang with the people who made y'all hot? Like, how y'all don't bang with the people who've been the community who's been supporting y'all, you know what I'm saying, 40 plus years? Like, how y'all not throwing back to them? So it started that whole conversation, and bro, we just poured gas on it, like, but not on like some antagonistic shit. We poured gas on it from the side we was on now, like, just bigging up our spot. Like, yo, it's black owned. We moving on this. Like, this is what we doing now. We off that. And bro, I kid you not, from January of 2018 until probably January of the next year, I saw a shift across the board. And everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could say that too. A lot of people I knew drinking that moved over to Duce.
And I used to party everywhere, bro. So like, I party uptown in the Heights. I party in Queens. I'd be in Brooklyn. Cass is like, yo, Duce. I'm cracking up because I'm like, yo, it's really the same thing. But like, it's a crazy what like some marketing and like some storytelling will do for a brand. And bro, I say it all the time. Like, it's probably the first time I've said it publicly. We were their marketing strategy. Like there was no like overarching, like you've never seen a Duce commercial. You know what I'm saying? You've never seen a Duce ad. Like it's always been
outside of Jay's verses or whatever. Like there's really,
that's it, bro. Like you've never seen you've probably never even seen a Duce poster.
No.
Outside of the liquor store. So it's like we were their marketing campaign and we did it nationally. So I'm not just talking about New York, bro. I'm talking about Atlanta, Los Angeles, Detroit, Houston, Dallas, Miami a little bit, but Philly, like all of those spots. And we kind of lined it up so well with the rock side of just like, yo, like where do they have artists? Where are their cities like popping? So like they're heavy, obviously New York, Philly, LA. So like we would just align it like that, and it really allowed us to get very strategic. You know what I mean? And that took it to another level. You know, it's like in that process of taking it to another level, like that should just it blew up even more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think like we didn't necessarily get bigger because we were already pretty huge. But it was like the type of attention we were getting was definitely elevated. It was definitely different. All of a sudden, cats want to interview us, on Complex. You know what I'm saying? Cats want to interview us on, the radio station, Hot 97, Breakfast Club. Like, cats wanted to, to invite us to certain things that like people like us weren't invited to. So I'm just like, okay, this is different, and it was a blessing, bro. Like it was one of those things that it was born and kind of bred out of necessity because I was like, we can't do this no more. But it was also still life-changing, you know what I'm saying? So even like out of like necessity, I wouldn't call it desperation, I call it necessity. Even out of necessity, we were able to like still experience like this life-changing moment, you know what I'm saying?
That's fire, bro. Salute to y'all for that, man. A salute to you for like, having the guts to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and bet on your team and bet on your people.
Yeah.
And I guess when you really have when you really touching people, you don't really need nobody else to explain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I could see it. People pulling up. I got the subscribers. You know what I mean? I got the real life, interactions, So that's
I got the currency, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? We knew that. We knew that from 2000, probably 14. And you know what I'm saying? We're not losing that anytime soon. So it's like what can we do? It's like I said earlier, like, bro, like we were always about the people. So it's like, what can we still do with the people in mind? And that was the next step. You know what I mean? And then like once we did that, hey, bro, like people in like, at least in our space, people wasn't screaming from the gallows about, black on this, black on that. And I'm not saying we started that, but that was a huge part of that conversation because we raised it up in the liquor space. Because it's like, no, like, y'all not banging with people who bang with y'all. We not with it. You know what I'm saying? And it was a real thing. Like I saw cats putting down the shit they were drinking in the clubs and picking up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be the Douce or the Ciroc or like, yo, now we on we on what our people is on. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
Yeah. And now, from signing, from getting that partnership with Douce, and then you guys go from 2018, right? That's when you started doing DussePalooza, and then you probably had a good 2-year run before the pandemic came.
Yeah.
So how can you sort of explain how that 2 year, how was those, how that went, and then after that, like what's the future of hope for you guys?
That 2 years was a blur because it was like we finalized the deal January, and then All-Star Weekend in LA was like a month later. And like, bro, like literally, like my life was just, I gotta look back in my phone, like my life was just like moments for 2 years. It was like, oh shit, another party, All-Star Weekend, okay, Essence Fest weekend, New York Memorial Weekend, and it was a blur to like the way I was just able to like really talk you through like very specific events from like 7 years ago I'm not really able to do that for 2018 and 2019 because it was just going, and they
You're
and they were
moving.
great parties, and they were very memorable parties to like everyone, but it was just, and we did a lot. We did a lot of them, so it was like we were doing at least one a month, and it really wasn't any time for us to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Because like now we got a partner, like we
It's
got,
work.
yeah, it's
It's
work.
business now. It's more
Yeah.
business now.
Yeah, we got somebody to answer to, and that's exactly what it felt like. It no longer felt like we were doing this
Gotcha.
this thing just to do it. It felt like business. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I was cool with that, and I knew what I was signing up for. But then, as we were like getting through it, I started to really feel like burned out in the sense
Yeah.
of like, like I was going to work, bro. Like I'm tired. Like I don't want to get on this plane to get into the city on Thursday to like do some last minute promotional run, to then go set up, to then, get to the party 4 hours early, to then stay 2 hours after, then to fly back home, whether because I was bi-coastal at this point. It's like, I don't know, am I going to New York? Am I going to LA? Like, what's that? And then like, as soon as I land and hit the pillow, we talk about the next one. And I'm just like, it's not, it wasn't fun. I will say that. Like I enjoyed parts of it, but it wasn't fun. And now you're just talking about fatigue, not only in like the doing the event fatigue, but like you're talking about now a crew of people who have been together
Right.
6, 7, 8 years. It's like you almost got fatigue of the people you're working with. So it's like, yo, like how do I even as a leader, I'm saying, and keep motivating and keep inspiring people to do their job when half the time I don't want to do it no more. But we were partners. So we had to keep pushing. And we did an excellent job.
I mean, think about it, right? Y'all, like the biggest artists go on tour for like, let's say a crazy run, like a year. Y'all doing it for mad years.
Yeah. And it's people, bro. So it's like you have ego, you have I'm saying, like, yo, I should be doing this, like I should be bigger over here, I should be, getting this opportunity, and it was a lot of that in that time, because again, with that heightened attention and kind of this that heightened like level of like eyes that were on us, I'm saying, like it's very easy to get lost in that.
Definitely forces people to try to figure out where they stand and all that, question or even question where they stand and things of that nature.
But you know what though? I mean, it gave all your mans a platform.
Yeah.
So they could never like really look at it like from a bad way, because if they prospered in other situations, that was a big, part of it.
It definitely was a stepping stone.
Yeah, that was a huge part, bro. It was like, for everybody involved. Like, I'm saying, like if you look at where everybody was prior to, and granted it was 7 years, so everybody's life is going to change. But if you look at where it was prior to 8 years, excuse me, where you look at it was prior to where everybody landed, during and after, worlds of a difference, bro.
Yeah.
Like worlds of a difference. And I see that as like one of the most valuable things about what was taking place during that time is people were able to launch careers off of that.
Yeah.
Not just side hustles. People were able to launch their career.
For real.
So like that's a huge thing that can't ever be overstated, or excuse me, understated. But I think with you spoke about the future, and I think like, we went on that run, and I remember going into Barclays. So we had just went on a monster like 3-month tear, like New York Made in America, where we performed at Made in America, DC Howard Homecoming, and we had Barclays in the tuck for a little while. Like that was our goal. Like the minute we had established the partnership, we were like, we're doing Barclays Center, like that, in the story. So when we going into that, I remember like us dropping the flyer, right? And I remember prior to that assuming how I was gonna feel. I'm like, yo, this is gonna be my moment, bro. Like championship moment. Like this is like, I'm saying, like the culmination of all this work that we've been doing for 8 years, I'm gonna feel like, you know what I'm saying, I'm hosting, you know what I'm saying, the Lombardi or the Larry O'Brien. And I remember dropping the flyer, and that wasn't the feeling. The feeling was more of like relief. Like, all right, like, yo, we got here. Like, I'm just happy we got here, you know what I'm saying, in one piece, and we were able to, you know, to make it. And it still felt huge, right? Like, it still felt like one of those moments, but like, I just think where I was personally in my life, and, you know, like sharing what we spoke about at the beginning, like just the space I was in, I was like, man, I'm happy to get through it, you know? And then I tell people all the time, bro, and no one ever believes me. The night of Barclays Center, I didn't have 1 ounce of fun. I didn't enjoy.
Wow.
I probably enjoyed the Fabio Foreign performance. That was probably the only thing I enjoyed that night, just because the energy was insane. But outside of that, bro, I didn't want to talk to nobody. Like, I was just working, like moving through, like kind of making sure everything was going about, which was exhausting. Being back and forth in Barclays Center for 7 hours, I probably burned like 4,000 calories from just running. But it was like, when it was over, I wasn't in the space of like, man, I can't wait to do this again. When it was over, I was like, this was wonderful. Like, this is wonderful. I'm glad people got to enjoy this. Like, this feels like a moment, again, back to the people. This felt like a moment for everybody. Like, whether you have been there from the beginning, you jumped on midway through, or you just start coming when we became Duce, it felt like a moment for the people. And we gave people something that they'll never forget, you know? And then as we get into the pandemic, obviously that stops anything that we would do. And it just really got me to thinking, bro. And I was like, you know what, man, like, it's been a hell of a run. You know, stories, like, we don't live in a movie, you know what I'm saying? We don't live in a book. Usually, things don't end the way that you would like for them to end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when things end, they usually end fast and bad. You know, and not like this great ride off into the sunset, curtain call moment. And I was like, and, you know, I had to balance and like really think about that. Cause like, man, I'm not trying to go out like that. Like, not COVID, you know what I'm saying? Not that. And I was like, you know what? This is like something.
You had a good run, bro. Yeah. You had a great run.
Great run.
So, I mean, I look at it, I don't look at it like you went out and you know, I feel like maybe you evolved.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
there's nothing wrong with evolving. And, 100%. You know, nothing wrong at all with that. So I feel like it happened naturally, maybe.
It did, and that's what I had to get my mind around. You know, as businessmen, you know what I'm saying, as entrepreneurs, as men, you know, like, that's a hard thing to wrap your mind around, right? And then, like, so once I was able to do that, I just got more and more comfortable with people asking me, yo, when's the next one? I said, bro, probably never. And they're like, wait, what? Like, you're not going, because then, you know, people start just like playing with your mind and like catering to your ego. And like, yo, y'all about to make 10 years. And I'm like, yeah, but nah. Like, I'm cool, you know, and I see it, I still see it as an opportunity for me with all that we've done and accomplished. You know, I spend a lot of time now helping the younger cats who are trying to do their thing, you know, like it's like there's cats who are popping up all over America with like palooza style parties. And I'm like, yo, I don't think you should do this. I think you should probably try to look at it like this. You know what I'm saying? I lend my resources from a brand side to cats.
Yeah.
For me, it's because I'm in that space now. Like, I want to be able to give to people what nobody gave to me. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't want those cats to be ill-equipped or like not be able to get sponsorship or not be able to get a venue because the venue don't know who they are. So like, yo, Cam, can you call this venue? Can you vouch for us? I've done that for dozens of people. Like, yo, nah, these are my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you need an insurance policy, I'm your insurance policy. These are my people, guarantee. And they've now gone on to build things. And so, like, for me, there's a great like sense of value in that too. That just helps me sleep a little better. And also, to be quite frank, bro, I'm about to be 36 years old, and that's not I don't want to be the party guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to even really be the event guy. Like, I want to, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I got a whole, like, I had a whole creative agency then. I run a different one now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my background was advertising. I've worked in marketing and strategy for 10 plus years. And like, so it's like, I've transitioned, you know what I'm saying? To your point,
Definitely.
I've evolved. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, and I think you also got to be okay with like making your decision, and whatever people say, whatever the fallout is, whatever people say, oh, they just not doing it no more because of COVID, or they not doing it no more because of this situation. Like, you just got to be okay with the noise and be like, all right, bro, whatever. I know why I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I know how I was feeling 2 years ago when it was at its highest height. I still wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now it's like COVID just gave me like a reason. Like, no, like you like now, like you can't do it. So go ahead, like, you know what I'm saying, figure out what you're gonna do. You know what
I mean, I also think that a lot of the times from the outside looking in, people push what they visualize in other people's lives on that person. So if they outside looking in, they're saying like, oh, Cam, you guys been doing this and so successful at this. Do this shit forever the rest of your life. Because quote unquote, I would if it was me, whatever, you know what I mean? But then you're sitting there like, fam, I want to go home and just chill with my lady sometime. I don't want to even pick up the phone.
I mean, in the truest essence of a party, the gift and the curse is the party starts, is lit, and then the party ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's a party has to come to an end. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there might be another party or a different kind of party you want to go to. You know what I mean? Or a different kind of situation, but that might not be.
Yeah, but I mean, in Cam's case, and many other people, like, partying is work, right? So like, everyone, I'm sure everyone can relate to like being tired of working sometimes.
But what I'm saying is maybe that feeling of the party ended before, right?
Oh yeah, the party ended a long time.
Party ended, when shit became, different.
Yeah, the party was done for me a long time ago, and I think like you always should listen to your gut, and like I roll with this like kind of theme and motto, which is, it's not mine. I've heard it 1,000 times. I'm sure as you guys have. Is it's always better to leave early than to leave late.
Right.
I wish, like, in my mind, that I would have had the strength and probably, like, you know what I'm saying, like the courage to leave a little earlier and be like, yo, when I felt it, probably like 2019, when I'm like, yeah, I'm good on this. Like, I wish I would have did it then, but I wrote it out, whether it have been out of like the obligation, or like the guilt maybe of like, yo, I got to see this thing through. But yeah, I wish I would have left a little earlier, bro. Like, I think I would have had a little bit more left of myself that I had to like then go out and like rediscover, you know what I'm saying? But I say all that and say no regrets, at all. Like, it was one of the best rides that you could go on. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So on a positive, on a more happy note, right? Like,
yeah.
What was your favorite party? Which one was your favorite one?
My favorite party of all time? Shit, man, there's a lot.
Well, the one today, like the one you feel like right now, like, was your favorite. It might be something different tomorrow. It's like top 5 shit almost.
My favorite would have to be, it would have to be the first one we did at Webster Hall.
That's what Dipset?
No, Webster Hall. Cam was Coney Island. That was another crazy one. Webster Hall, I think that first one, because it was our
man, R.I.P. Webster Hall too.
Man, legendary.
That's how you know things are different. Webster Hall is no more.
Webster Hall is no more in New York, man. Like, we're in a different time. I don't want to shit on what's happening now, but yeah, like Webster Hall was an experience. I remember like really feeling like we was in the major leagues when we got it, and then when we sold it out, I was just like, okay, this is huge. At that point, it was most people we ever did. We're talking like 3,200 people. Every room sold out. Like, we had to program every room, and I remember just like that was probably the party I had the most fun at. And it was just a party. Like every floor, like it didn't feel like how the shows started feeling towards the end. I even hate calling them shows, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like performance, like lots of lights and fireworks, which all that shit is dope. But it's like, I just want to party. And like, you know, so we had like the reggae room in the basement. Like the first floor was like smooth R&B, like sing along grooves. And then the top floor was just, yo, hits. And I was like, yeah, this is amazing. So I would say the first one, which was our 3-year, was it? Yeah, it was our 3-year anniversary.
And what about someone that you would have never thought you knew that would know about Palooza that you met or ran into?
Like somebody that people would never thought came, or like what?
Well, like let's say like you met Braun, right?
Yep.
Did he know about Palooza?
Yes.
Shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, shit, you laid it up for me. But no fun. But bro, literally, it's so crazy. And this wasn't when we were huge. This was when we were still kind of like niche and just like some cool New York shit. Like I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine who's friends with Hov, and this was early, bro. Like this was like 2015, and they're just like, yeah, yo, Hov knows about this shit. I said, shut up. Like, you know, he's like, nah, Hov knows about this shit. I'm like, really? Like about all little old things? Like, yeah. And then like I think like the year, like that same year was a year like he was spotted at like Grits and Biscuits and shit. But like I was just like, oh, okay. Like so homie got his ear to the streets. And then yeah, actually when I did meet Braun, meet LJ, 2016 maybe, 2015. And he was just like, yeah, like that shit is crazy. My boys who DJ, like it's cats in Cleveland, they're like, yo, all they talk about is your shit. I'm like,
it's hard. See?
Yeah.
You never know. You never know who's paying attention.
What was that Jay-Z pulling up to the party situation like? Did you know he was gonna come?
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was the only one who knew for a while. Again, it's like one of those things you can't tell people because bro, niggas will ruin anything. So I was just like, I was like, yo, you know, we had built a pretty good rapport with him by that point. We had spent some time with him at that point, and we were just like, you know, like we would love. The last time we saw him was Made in America. And we were like, yo, we're doing our final show of the year at Hammerstein Ballroom. Like this is the first year of would you say? Like, yo, we would love, you know, if you would come. And he was like, yeah, no doubt. Like we'll say. I mean, I didn't take it serious or nothing. So then like, I want to say like 4 days before the party, because at this point he doesn't live in New York. He lives in LA. So he's like, but he came to New York for something. So I'm like, okay, so he's in New York. So like possibility. And then I remember like I was with Lenny the day before the party, like that morning. He was like, yo, how's it looking? Like, we a little more excited than usual. I said, yo, bro, we're in good shape. Like, you know what I'm saying? Tickets about to sell out or whatever. He's like, okay. Like, what's the setup like in there? I was like, Lenny, you've been to Hammerstein 1,000 times. Like, you got this section. He's like, yeah, I need my section. But I was like, yeah, bro, you're good. Like, you'll be right up here in like the viewing booth situation. He's like, all right, cool. He's like, yeah, we might have a special guest. I'm like, who? I was like, Meek Mill, like Fab. Like, who's the special guest? Because you know, like they're superstars, but like they're always around. So I'm just like, who? Like, tell us so we can be prepared. He's like, I got you. So that was the day before. The morning of, bro, it's probably like 7:30 a.m. And Lenny calls me. So now I'm sus. I'm like, okay, well, like you calling me at 7:30 in the morning, bro, and like sounded like he just got in the house. And he's like, yo, can't confirm it 100%, but Jay might be coming today. I was like, okay. what do we need to do? I was like, he's like, what time's your walkthrough? It's like, walkthroughs at I think it was like at 11 a.m. or noon. He's like, all right, security's gonna meet you there. I said, okay. I tell no one. But then as I'm getting in, heading to the spot, I'm heading to the spot with Rory. So I was like, I have to tell Rory. So I tell Rory, and he's like, okay, cool. So like, boom, what do you gotta do? I said, bro, just follow my lead. You're gonna be the point of contact for them. So, you know, like with security and all that, we'll usher it and figure it out. So we go do our walkthrough, and I was like, I have to tell the venue. So I tell the venue, like that's a different level of like preparedness. And like, bro, I kid you not, the urgency around security went up 700%, bro. Like, wait, what? I said, oh my God, you niggas are fans too? Like, so they're like, yo, so I mean, we get through the night. Well, we get to the night. Of course, Rory's told people on the team. It's like, wait, is it? I was like, it's not confirmed. If he comes, he comes. Like, but we still got a job to do. We still got a show to fill. And I remember, honestly, when he pulled up, he couldn't have come at a worse time. Like, it was literally as we were trying to like transition from, I want to say one of our headlining DJs, like into T-Pain. So like T-Pain was our headliner that night. So like DJ's going off, T-Pain's in the dressing room. We're trying to get his mic shit straight, and I get the text from security like, "Yo, we're in the back." So I send Rory. Rory goes to handle it while I'm handling the back with T-Pain and him. So Rory's like, "Yo, I got him. He's good. He's upstairs." Boom. Bro, before I could even make it that way, I get a text from somebody that's in the party. Like, yo, I can't believe Hov is here. I'm like, he is? Acting surprised. I was like, he's here? Like, yes, he's here. He's in the party. I was like, oh shit. Okay. So then I'm like, everybody's like, yeah, you got to go up there. I was like, I'll go up there in a minute. Like, I'll be up there in a second. So we finally get T-Pain situated. I go up. Bro, you want to talk about just nasty behavior from grown men, bro. Like,
I can imagine.
Nasty,
I can imagine.
Grown men, bro, with families. Like, yo, Cam, I'm supposed to be up there. But I was like, no, you're not. Like,
yo, what a coincidence though. He would pull up on T-Pain night.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Ain't that what a coincidence?
Hilarious, bro. Hilarious. So
T-Pain like that set me up.
Bro,
yeah.
He said that.
What is going on here?
So I get up there. And it's like his whole Meek, Fab, Lenny, a couple cats from Rock, Hov's nephews, and you know what I'm saying? It's Air Force One Secret Service type security up there. So I just pull up, and when I say that, like super professionals, I didn't have to say anything. They knew who I was. It's like, oh no, he's fine. Boom, I'm coming. So I go up there, you know what I'm saying? We greet, we chopping it up. He's like, yo, this is amazing, bro. Like, we could talk through that. So that was a bit of a surreal moment, and just
It's good. That's things that, that's the payoff right there.
Yeah,
that's the payoff.
Felt amazing. And I don't want to even like sound like I was like complaining about that time, like it was a shitty time. It was a great time, but it was like, and like those.
But it became work. It became work.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. It became work. That's life. Every people need to hear that sometimes. Sometimes the things that put a smile on your face become work.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And become heavy. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yo, but on another level, man, we got to talk about what's going on behind you over there with those sneakers. Sometime I don't know if we have enough time tonight, but that's looking like a whole nother conversation that we need to have over there.
I don't have anything up here that's rare anymore. Cats will laugh at me because like it's probably only like 106 pair up here now, but that's like half of what I used to have. I used to be a crazy like sneaker guy, But
It's all right, man. We'll figure that out. We'll dive into that another
yeah,
time,
I got joints,
there's
bro.
something bad. There's something going on back there. There's something going on over there back there,
I
George.
don't want to downplay it too much and over humble it. There's some shit back there, but
yeah,
I can't buy anymore. Like I was
for sure.
told recently by my fiance, like, yo, for every pair that you buy, you got to get rid of a pair. So I'm just like,
yeah. I mean, that's that. You know what? We could work with that. We could work with that. You know, we could work with that. We just start beating up some pairs that deserve to get beat up and make room. That's all we're gonna do. Word.
all right.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what's funny too? Like, if I had to assume, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, Jay has been around every show you can imagine in the world, right? He's performed, he's put them on. But like, yeah, you guys have T-Pain there, but it's really a party.
Yep.
It's, you know what I mean? So I'm probably sure he looked at it like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They ain't here for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not here for me. They're not here for Fab. They're not even really probably here for T-Pain. They're here because this is what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He loved that aspect of it. He loved that it was always party. He even mentioned, he said, yo, like, T-Pain is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, his performance is super dope. He's like, but yo, like, when y'all are doing this more and more, he's like, just keep remembering, like, keep it about the party. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. He was like, and that was basically his way of saying, like, don't go too performance heavy, like, don't like try to depend on artists to do it. And I appreciated that kind of insight from him. And he was like, yo, like, keep it party. He was like, keep the party like where, like, as the main thing. And he was like, it'll continue. You know what I'm saying? So I took that into my like my psyche going into 2019, and I was like, yo, like, we got to make sure the party is fire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we had gotten to that point, like, yo, who can we book? And I'm just like, nah, like, we got to get back to like making sure the party's fire, like getting the elements of the party together, like making sure the host got like a program, like a schedule.
Because
like,
think back on it. Remember, it was fucking chicken and alcohol. You know what I'm saying? That's what got you here. Like, just regular, you know, shit that people actually just want to be a part of and do and fucking indulge in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. That's it's an amazing journey, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't say this to be funny, but I'm proud. Like, you know what I'm saying? Proud to see you like flourish that way. That's really dope, you know?
Yeah, it's humbling, man. And it was like I said earlier, it was like a major just like moment in my life, a major time period. You know, that I'm super, super grateful for. You know, just the experience, the memories, like, and like, you know, when you do something like that, you know, I think, like I was saying earlier, like, you're so deep in it, you don't really realize what you're doing. But now that I've had a lot of time to sit and reflect on just how special it was, like, bro, I'm immensely grateful, you know, for that experience in that time, because like, it never leaves you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm carrying it with me now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm carrying it with me into my next endeavors, my next journeys, and it's just like, I'm saying, I used to be like, man, I'm tired of talking about this shit. But it's like, you never, like, there's never be a time when I'll run into people and they won't ask me about that time. So it's like, I gotta, like, you know, really appreciate it. You know, I really appreciate the time, because like, there's people who walk this earth, you know what I'm saying, 60, 70 years and don't get asked about nothing. So it's like, at that point, like, you know,
it's definitely part of your story and your journey, and a stepping stone too, because you're not done, right? It might be something that you're known for now, but you know, it's eventually it's just gonna be something that you were known for. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's a stepping stone for you. So
absolutely.
So you definitely embrace it, and we're extremely proud of you over here, especially being being there from the early era, seeing what y'all did from afar and up close is dope. It's dope for sure, and it's not something to just be to be looked over, because like I said, you guys definitely trailblazed, you trailblazed in that space right there, and left a long lasting impression on it, because shit's opening up and we're gonna see the palooza effect happening again somehow.
I'm already seeing it. And it makes me really, really proud, you know, to just see like that that type of partying, like that type of energy, people are trying to carry it on. You know what I'm saying? And people are trying to like make sure that they're in tune with the people and that
Yeah.
like, they're putting the people first and having a good time. And I just appreciate that. Like, granted, you know, a lot of it now I can't go to because it's just a little too crazy, a little too wild. But
Hmm.
like I said, I'm about to be 36. But nah, it's still a blessing to see it, bro. Like I said, like I want to pour into those people, you know what I'm saying, those cats who are like really curating what the scene is like now, what the energy is like for people that are coming up now who wanna experience, you know what I'm saying, what we experienced, you know what I'm saying, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, you know?
So is that what's next for Cam? Is that that's what going forward? That's what we expect to see more from you? Like,
Part
you
of
know, share with us what's the future for
Yeah,
Cam?
it's a part of it. So, you know, on like the surface professional level, I just became the CEO of an agency in LA called Fairfax Studios, where
Oh,
they focus on basically their creative agency focused through like cultural marketing on like gaming, music, entertainment, sports. The twist is that they find a way to kind of highlight and amplify social impact in everything that
Okay.
they do.
Dope.
So yeah, it was founded by a brother from Philly named Marvin Bing. It's his company. I came in to basically, you know, run it on the business side. So that's we just, and that was what I think I was speaking about it earlier. Like we just launched a fintech bank like
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
wow,
So
man.
that's
Salute.
what's really happening on the. Thank you. That's what's
Yeah. Congratulations.
thank you, man. Thank you. It's crazy. Like we were talking about, just like the stepping stones and the evolution. So I'm using a lot of my experience and a lot of my lessons from failure, you know, over the last, you know, decade to really go and build a company the right way. So that's been amazing. And then, you know, on like personal, like business note, like I started this group for men. It was really like just like a forum for men to come and just like, you know, emote and express their feelings. It's called Self Care, where we talk about a bunch of stuff that men really don't talk about. You know what I mean? Like we talk about, you know, obviously our mental health. We talk about mentorship. We talk about, you know, how to be better men in relationships. We talk about fatherhood. Like we talk about a lot of like really, really heavy topics.
Oh, that's dope, man. Send definitely. I'm gonna hit you on IG.
Is that online
Send
or
me
is
the
that in
information
person?
for that.
Yeah,
All right,
so
that's something I'd be interested in for
we do them
sure.
on Zoom. Absolutely, I'll send you guys the information. We usually do them on Zoom. It's usually about anywhere between, depending on the week, between 40 and 100 brothers in there. We come with a bit of an agenda, but it's open floor as far as like the discussion goes. Like we might bring in some experts, you know, to talk about like you know, your mental health or like meditation or like goal setting. But then we always leave the floor open to have like really open and honest conversation with one another. It's Self Care Inc. on Twitter and on Instagram. Care is with a K, so it's a self care with a K Inc. Yeah, you follow that.
Sure.
And so that's like a personal passion project of mine, like, you know, just like purpose filled work. So yeah, that's what's on the horizon for me, bro. Is just, you know, trying to be a better man every single day in every facet of my life. And then on the professional side, just continuing to be, you know, innovative, continuing to push, you know, culture always. And you know, like I said, like my next chapter, it definitely feels like it's about to be my greatest one. You know, so I'm thankful to be in the space that I'm in, and like to be, you know, to be blessed and to be thriving. So yeah, bro, it's exciting. You know, it's
That's
exciting.
dope, man. And I'm that's why we asked you to you know, speak to us today, bro. Like, you know, we very, like I said, like we said before, we happy for you and all your progression, man. And we
What's good
looking
with the
forward to see what you're doing in the future.
I saw like you know the podcast, right?
Yes,
Handcrafted.
yes. Oh, I didn't even mention that. So handcrafted, another passion project of mine. Handcrafted is my podcast that I started. I wanted to really get like real stories from entrepreneurs, from creators, from high level business execs. And the premise behind it was like everybody, yes, everyone has a podcast now, but I was like, I don't really go to like I haven't heard too many, at least, where it's like people can get these like high profile people all the time, but I feel like we get the same story every single time, which is, you know, how cool they are, or, you know what I'm saying, like some old stories about, you know, when they were doing so and so, and I was like, no, I really want to know your story. So like I want to know like the time that you were about to quit. You know what I mean? Like I want to know like what was your biggest failure, and then like how did you overcome it? Like I want to know like how were you as a child? So it's like it's really like getting the story of people in a unique way. And we just started shooting season 2 last week. So we're stacking the episodes. I just think it's the smartest way for me to do it, from I guess an availability standpoint. But it's been dope, bro. We've had some really dope episodes. It's Handcrafted Pod on Instagram, Handcrafted Pod on YouTube. You know, our subscriptions are growing every day, and I think like that's the best part about it is like it's timeless content. So it's like people coming. It's not like we're talking like, you know, kind of what you guys are doing, where it's not like we're just talking we're talking about trends, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about what
it's not dated.
Yeah,
it's not like, dated at all.
It's like the views are still going up on shit that we aired, you know, 5 months ago. You know, so it's just like that tells me that we're doing something, you know, something pretty dope over there. And it's not one of those things again that I'm doing to grow. You know, I'm not doing it to make it a thing. Like I'm not doing, but if it becomes a thing, I'll be much better prepared this time to deal with the business side, you know. But it's been a dope journey, bro. I've learned a lot about myself, you know what I'm saying, by having those conversations. Like I keep referencing like my personal journey, but bro, like just hearing some of these stories and like finding the relatability in a lot of people's struggles, you know what I'm saying? Like finding the relatability and like how a lot of people overcame stuff. Like that's been really inspiring, and it's caused me to look at myself and like really realize a lot of the stuff that I've had to overcome, and like, you know, has brought me to this point. So yeah, Handcrafted Pod on all platforms, Twitter too. I mean, the Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Check it out. We got a bunch of content up there. And yeah, bro, we're just constantly moving, man. I only want to do shit that's impactful. I only want to do shit that like touches the people and like that helps people, you know. So if it's not doing that, bro, you won't catch me doing it.
And that's exactly why we wanted you here, my G. That's exactly why, man.
Word.
You know, just quickly, like, you know, it made me think about something, right? Like, you know, you shared your, you know, the difficult part of your life with your fiance and everything that occurred. Yep. And I there's a similarity there, like with something with myself, where like I'm drawn to things that are very important, right? Like, so like I manage a author comedian who her whole thing is about infertility, you know, but I didn't realize like it was because of something that was like going on in my life, you know, with my wife, and we had so many struggles, you know what I'm saying? I just never had the courage to do what you guys have done and like really share that. But my version of it was to like help her with her journey and craft her story to get to the point. So I think I say that to say like self-care is amazing to me. To hear that is like, wow, that's really dope. Like I really want to tell other people about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I manage, like I also manage like a rapper. I never wanted to be involved in music, but like he's deserves to be in a space that he really needs to be in. I'm helping him get to that point. But he also has real things in his life. You know, his daughter's autistic and they deal with a lot of issues there. And, you know, it's a lot of things in his journey that he's trying to figure out. So like, I just immediately think about like, man, there's so many brothers that could benefit from speaking to other people that are going through things that might help shape them in the way they're going, man. So like, I say that to say like, this is exactly why we wanted to talk to you, you know, because
man, we gotta move away from the pretentious stuff. Like even though we're all everyone's in you know, likes to bask in the glory, like the things that really make us have nothing to do with that shit. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Never have nothing to do with that. So, you know, it's important. It's important to share those kind of, you know, situations and stories.
Yeah, you got.
And I struggle with that too. Like I don't post a lot of regular happy shit on social media. So imagine me posting something or like sharing something I'm struggling with. You know what I'm saying? So like that's very honorable and commendable. For real.
It's really about just creating the space, bro. And like the space looks different for everybody, right? Like I've been very open and transparent on my journey, but in me doing that, like I don't put that expectation on others. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
I just want to share it so maybe somebody does get encouraged to Justice point to do it in their own way, you know, and like and everybody's like the way everybody deals with pain is different. Like the way everybody deals with grief is different, but we all deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody has lived a life and not experienced pain. So like that, and like more times than not, you find more like commonalities in your pain with another person than you do with like your highs and your joys. Like it's usually like like pain is like that commonplace for a lot of us. So why not talk about it? You know what I mean? Like, and granted, I'm not saying go talk about it on your Instagram, but like find a space where you feel comfortable enough to talk about it with some people. That may be with your wife, you know what I'm saying? That may be with a family member, that may be in a journal because you don't have that outlet, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we're really with self-care particularly, we're really trying to encourage men and women now, because we have started inviting women into the space. We just want to encourage people to find that space for themselves and like get used to like talking about uncomfortable things. And like it don't necessarily have to be in a room of 100 people. Like I'm not asking you to come and bare your soul. A lot of cats just come there and listen, and then they're like, yo, it's been so helpful, bro. Like they don't say a word, they don't type in the chat, they don't unmute their mic, they don't turn the camera on. We don't require that. Like we're not so like with that, what we're finding is like the work looks different depending on the person. And like that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like with that, we just want to make sure that we're being diligent in like the topics, we're being diligent in how deep we go on the conversations, because like we don't want to like leave any stone unturned. But it's like, yo, if it's I'm not inviting you there and saying, yo, bro, you gotta speak. You don't have to say anything. Like you come there and just listen, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe learn something. Even if it's uncomfortable for you to listen, bro, we send out newsletters, recap emails that you can just read the doc and see what was discussed and be like, oh, okay. Because even that, I understand that's uncomfortable for people to listen to sometimes. So it's just like there's levels to dealing with the pain, and we just want to make sure that we're not leaving anybody out of the space. You know what I mean? So it's like that's something that I'm really appreciative of having, and something that we want to continue to grow it. Obviously, something sensitive like that, we want to grow it the right way. We want to make sure we're getting the right people in the space, like people who are willing to like respect the space and honor the space. So like we don't blast it out a ton on social media. The internet's a crapshoot. It's usually like by referral, or people are like, yo, I tell people all the time, like, yo, if you think there's someone that can benefit from this, please invite them. And like
that's exactly what lit off in my head. Like, yo,
definitely send that info to us, so I could definitely pass that along to some good people.
Absolutely.
But Kam, man, yo, this has been really dope, bro.
Definitely.
Thank you for sharing your time, sharing your journey with us. This has been really insightful, helpful, entertaining, very curious and hopeful to see how things flourish with you for moving forward, and I'm rooting for you, bro. You're my man.
Yeah, definitely rooting for you, man. And we whether you come to New York or we go out to LA, we gotta make it happen. Go sit down, catch a table somewhere.
We'll do it properly, man. I'm
sure
appreciative of you guys extending your platform to me. Salute to you on building a platform. I know this shit isn't easy, and I know just the willingness and the commitment to do something like this. It takes a lot. So shout out to you guys for building this, and thank you for thinking of me and bringing me to the space. Anytime I
appreciate you, brother. Sure.
I always appreciate it. So thank you guys for real.
My man, Kam Mccullough.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Stay solid, Kam. Stay the same, brother. Stay good, man.
Episode
stay
19.
Gold.
Yes, sir.
The Homage Podcast. It's been a blessing, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you.
One love.